safer world is possible, and together we can and will make it happen. Thank you.
When you show up in community, you find that group that makes you feel like home, but oftentimes you also find yourself again.
Prince Andrew's PR playbook just fell out of his pocket, and it's ugly. Virginia Giuffre's posthumous memoir says Andrew's team tried to hire internet trolls to hassle her, while he ducked accountability behind palace gates. The Independent corroborates the same claim from the book. Andrew's legal operation went so far as exploiting paid online harassment as a tactic against a woman, accusing him of SA. Listen to that again. Paid trolling as a legal strategy. This is the pattern. Evade, smear, and outsource the cruelty. When the facts won't defend you, flood the zone with abuse until the truth can't breathe. Giuffre writes that while Andrew's side casts doubt on her credibility, they were actively trying to weaponize the internet against her. That sounds familiar. Now, connect the dots. If Andrew's team was shopping for online trolls, he didn't invent that in a vacuum. He's the product of a system, the firm, that has always preferred perception management over transparency. And while there's no public document proving the palace itself commissioned troll farms against Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, credible analysis have shown a coordinated hate network has targeted her for years. Bot Sentinel's work, covered by major outlets, found that 70% of the hostile content about Meghan on social media originated from 83 accounts, amplifying each other in a manufactured echo chamber. So ask the obvious question. Who benefits when a smear machine revs up against Meghan? Not the public, not the truth, certainly not the targets. The beneficiaries are the same actors who need a distraction when scandals like Andrew's erupts. Whether the palace cuts checks or merely looked the other way, the effect is identical. Coordinated hostility used as cover and counter-programming. Giuffre's account also reminds us, these tactics don't stay online. They bleed into real life, into police reviews, into settlement optics, into reputational warfare that punishes survivors and shields power. That's why this matters beyond royal gossip. Here's the takeaway. Andrew's alleged troll shopping isn't a one-off. It's a window into how power protects itself. And it mirrors the long-running, well-documented, coordinated online hostility towards Meghan, which media has reported since 2021. You don't need a leaked invoice to recognize the signature move. Drown a woman's credibility in noise, then claim the controversy is her fault. We see the play. We're naming it. And we're not pretending it's anything other than strategic abuse in the guise of peace.
Hello there, and a warm welcome to Sussexful. I'm your host, Emma, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Sussexful for all the latest insights and updates. Now, on today's video, Mick dropped, we're diving into notorious JTB's takedown on digital warfare, the troll scandal, and the firm's signature move exposed. Of course, JTB is right. If Prince Andrew had any conscience at all, he'd know he bears serious responsibility, not just for the initial allegations of assault, but for the digital abuse his team has perpetuated. And it doesn't stop there. Prince William and his team, including Knauff, have been accused of digitally abusing Meghan, aided by sections of the media and TV hosts. This is how the royal family and the institution keep the monarchy's image intact, by pushing JTB's takedown on digital warfare, troll scandal exposing firm's signature move. JTB has long been known for its uncompromising stance against digital abuse and manipulation. In this latest takedown, the firm has once again wielded its formidable expertise, laying bare the tactics used by Andrew's team to digitally torment Meghan. By exposing the coordinated efforts to smear and discredit her through online trolling and media manipulation, JTB has shone a harsh light on the shameful practices employed by the very institution meant to uphold the values of the royal family. This is not the first time the firm has resorted to such underhanded methods to silence those who dare challenge its authority, as evidenced by the tragic fates of Diana and Wallis. JTB's unwavering commitment to truth and justice stands as a stark rebuke to the royal family's attempts to conceal its own misdeeds behind a veneer of respectability. So, the notorious JTB has taken a really firm stance on the digital warfare tactics that have been used against Meghan Markle. They're saying, without any hesitation, that Andrew and his team, including Willie and Knauff, are responsible, not just for the initial sexual assaults, but also for the digital abuse that, in the end, led to the tragic death of a woman. JTB is just outright condemning this whole pattern of behavior, where the royal family and the institution use digital harassment and these smear campaigns to protect themselves. They argue, that this shameful practice, which actually echoes the treatment of Diana and Wallis, just absolutely has to stop. The notorious JTB is, utterly convinced that this very unroyal family has to disappear. The digital abuse that Meghan Markle has endured, honestly at the hands of Prince Andrew's team, and all those media and TV programs, is a pretty clear example of how the royal family and the institution keep themselves out of trouble, just like they did with other high-profile women. Think Princess Diana and Wallis Simpson. The people in power have weaponized the digital world to relentlessly attack and undermine Meghan. This shameful pattern of behavior, it really shows just how deeply unroyal this family is, because they'll stop at nothing to protect their own interests, even if it means causing immense harm to innocent people. Meghan's experience is, sadly, a tragic reminder of the very real and devastating consequences of digital abuse, and it just highlights the urgent need to hold those responsible accountable. The way Meghan, Diana, and Wallis have been treated by the royal family, it's honestly been nothing short of shameful. Each of these women, in their own way, faced relentless criticism, scrutiny, and even abuse from the very institution that was supposed to support and protect them. The need for this very unroyal family to disappear is, pretty clear. Their actions have caused so much pain and suffering, and their continued presence only keeps a toxic culture of power, privilege, and this willful disregard for the well-being of anyone they see as an outsider. It's really high time the British public demanded accountability and transparency from this old, outdated institution, which has just operated with impunity for way too long, always shielding its members from the consequences of their actions. The time has come for the royal family to finally reckon with its sordid history and either radically reform or just fade into obscurity, making way for a more just, equitable, and compassionate society. JTB's groundbreaking investigation has honestly exposed the disturbing tactics of digital warfare used against Meghan by the royal family and their affiliates. This courageous act shines a much-needed spotlight on the systemic abuse and manipulation tactics deployed to discredit and silence Meghan. By holding the royal family accountable for their, truly deplorable actions, JTB has underscored the critical importance of confronting the institution's long history of targeting and mistreating vulnerable members, from Princess Diana to Wallis Simpson. This landmark intervention serves as a clarion call for a reckoning with the royal family's shameful legacy of digital abuse, urging the public to demand transparency, accountability, and the dismantling of this unethical system once and for all. The devastating effects of digital abuse on individuals cannot be overstated. When someone becomes the target of coordinated online attacks, the psychological and emotional toll can be immense. The barrage of hateful messages, threats, and harassment can leave victims feeling isolated, anxious, and powerless. In some cases, the trauma of digital abuse has even led to self-harm or suicidal thoughts. It is a cruel and cowardly form of abuse that hides behind the anonymity of the internet. The need to address and combat digital abuse in all its forms is paramount, for the sake of the countless victims whose lives have been irrevocably damaged by this insidious and pervasive phenomenon. The royal family's culpability in the digital abuse of Meghan Markle cannot be overlooked. As the institution that governs and represents the monarchy, the royal family has a profound responsibility to ensure the well-being and fair treatment of its members. Yet, in the case of Meghan, it is clear that the palace turned a blind eye to the coordinated, online harassment and defamation campaign waged against her. The need for the royal family to take full accountability for their actions or lack thereof is paramount. They must acknowledge the deep harm inflicted upon Meghan and commit to tangible steps to reform the culture of toxicity and abuse that has long festered within the walls of the institution. Only then can the royal family begin to regain the trust of the public and demonstrate a true commitment to upholding the values of dignity, compassion, and respect that the monarchy is meant to represent. In the ongoing battle against digital warfare, it is essential for individuals and organizations to take a stand and actively expose these insidious tactics. Digital abuse, whether in the form of trolling smear campaigns or the manipulation of online narratives, can have devastating consequences, leaving victims feeling isolated, silenced, and powerless. However, by shining a light on these practices and rallying public support, we can empower those who have been targeted and hold the perpetrators accountable. It is our collective responsibility to safeguard the integrity of the digital landscape and ensure that it remains a space for free and open discourse, unburdened by the scourge of digital warfare. Only through vigilance, courage, and a steadfast commitment to truth can we hope to overcome the challenges posed by those who would seek to weaponize the digital realm for their own nefarious ends. The continued misconduct and scandalous behavior of the royal family members have undoubtedly taken a heavy toll on the institution's reputation and public standing. With the likes of Prince Andrew's disastrous interview and the ongoing allegations against the royal household for their treatment of Meghan Markle, it seems increasingly likely that this very unroyal family may soon disappear from public view altogether. The possibility of the royal family vanishing from the spotlight altogether looms large, as their inability to address these controversies head-on and their reliance on outdated tactics of digital abuse and image control have only served to further erode public trust. The future of the monarchy hangs in the balance, and it remains to be seen whether the institution can salvage its tarnished reputation or if it is destined to fade into obscurity, a cautionary tale of the consequences of unchecked privilege and lack of accountability.